All right, so here we are with Charlotte Murray, all the way from New Zealand. And we're sitting here, we had a few minutes to chat. We're having lunch today at Barbossa's in St. Joseph, Missouri. And I'm just so excited to talk to you.
Yeah.
Talk to me about where you earned your music degrees from.
Okay. So I'm from Wellington in New Zealand, and I studied at Victoria University, which is the university in my home town, and yeah, studied music history there. Yeah. And now, and then a diploma of teaching as well, so I'm a high school teacher.
So you're currently a high school teacher. How long have you been teaching in the school system?
My first year teaching was 98, so yeah, 15, 16 years now.
Nice.
Yeah.
And you also direct a barbershop chorus.
Yeah, that's right.
In New Zealand. What are they called?
Vocal Effects. So they're a group of young guys, and I've been directing that since 2003 when we formed it. Yeah.
And you have a few special students that have really embraced barbershop. Can you talk a little bit about these guys?
So Musical Island Boys went through the high school that I teach at. So I started doing, I got into barbershop when I was at high school. I sang in the choir, and actually our choir sang on a show that Second Edition, who were the world champions, they came down and were on the show. We had no idea who was on the show that we're going to be at. So we sang, and then we came out, sat in the auditorium, and Second Edition came out, and I was just absolutely blown away. I hadn't heard anything like that before. It's such a different style, especially for us down in New Zealand. We hadn't heard anything like that. So soon after that, they started a high school quartet competition like the following year, and there were a few schools that had seen these guys. They'd taken them around, and so yeah, that's where I got my first taste of it. And then when I got back into teaching, I started taking quartets at school and started chorus, boys and girls chorus. And then in 2002 we had Musical Island Boys formed, and we, I guess through them, we had coaches that would come out and visit New Zealand, and people would bring them into the school to work with them. And through their journey, really, I've learnt so much by watching people coach them and seeing them improve. It's been an incredible thing to be a part of.
You've got to be so proud of them. As a teacher, I think we all get excited when we see the success of our students and growing. And I think you mentioned the fact that there were so many coaches that came and really developed your singers and developed you. And that's one of the wonderful things about our society is just the generosity of knowledge and growing in this craft.
And that was really something that stood out to me even as a high school student, that there were people that would bring people like, there was Second Edition. The next year, I think, they came back again, then Interstate Rivals the following year, and these barbershoppers would bring them into the schools to come and sing for us. And then any coach that would come along, they'd bring them in and free of charge, get them to work with us, and it made a huge difference. And just that friendliness and their excitement about seeing people get involved and wanting to see the craft grow and develop, that really had a big impact on me. Yeah, and I think it was a huge part of what drew me into barbershop. Yeah.
So what's your role here this week? What brings you all the way from New Zealand to St. Joseph, Missouri?
So the first time I came was 2008, and it's just such a fantastic week to be away from your normal life, sit and reflect on what you do as a teacher, and then be able to work with these fabulous educators and learn from them. It just really does recharge the batteries and inspire you for another year. And it's awesome to come here and actually be a student as well, just to put yourself in the place of, just a reminder of what it is like to sit in the class and be a learner. I think it makes you a better teacher in the end.
So, if there was a music educator who didn't know much about barbershop, what kind of advice would you give them about incorporating it into their music program?
For me, I would encourage them to get involved because of the great education that is available to you, and it not only will help you with barbershop, but whatever you learn, it's not just about the music, it's about the leadership, and you can use it in choral music and in the classroom, all of those skills. And that's been a huge impact for me. Plus, I would encourage them too that the kids, we've got a lot of kids singing in the high schools back home. In our area, when we have a competition, our regional competition, we have 400 kids competing, boys and girls.
Wow.
And there's something about it that they get excited about, and it's a great way to build confidence in kids and get them motivated and just enjoying life, I think. Yeah.
Well, we're just really fortunate. I believe, are you the only female master director in the society?
Yeah.
Yeah, you directed on the international stage. I've observed you. Oh, there's the emergency. Of course. I really admire you and am inspired by you in your journey as a colleague, as a music educator, but also as a female director and the challenges that those bring. And just love the fact that you have accomplished so much at the highest level. And so thank you for sharing a little bit of your story with other music educators. Let's go have some lunch.
Yeah, all right.